There's only one person that is actually like capable of doing the job, and we've seen him doing the job for the past 4 years. That's Joe Biden. We have two candidates right now. And to my conservative friends in chat, this is something I really want to point out to you. We have two candidates who are like one step away from end of care life. Okay. Their mental faculties are declining, both of them. And I'll admit that about Biden. What's cringe is that Republicans will not accept that about Trump, even though we have whatever the fuck this is.
We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your...
Well, I don't even...
It's happening on both sides, all right? We're gonna go enlightened centrist right here, and we're gonna say it's happening on both sides. The question that you have to answer is, who is going to surround themselves with better people? And who is going to set up the United States for success in the event that they die in office? Because both of these guys, at risk, okay? Donald Trump eats McDonald's or Taco Bell or KFC every single day. He thinks it's less germ contaminated than fucking home cooked food. So it ain't looking good for him, all right? It also ain't looking good for Biden. He's old as fuck. Everybody knows that. Everybody sees that. Who is going to surround themselves with better people? When Trump was president, half of his cabinet wasn't even confirmed by Congress. They were acting attorney generals or acting, secretary of states or acting this person, because it was easier to do that than, fire your secretary of state for the 14th or 15th time and go through another Senate confirmation hearing and have it, stopped up and, actually have questions being answered or asked by Democrats that they have to answer under oath. It's way, way easier just to have people that you can hire and fire at will, like Trump did. Because if someone either didn't do something that he wanted or was not sure of the legality of something, so he would fire them and put someone in that had less scruples. Like, that's just the world that we lived in under Trump from 2016 to 2020. Contrast that with Biden, who I'm not even sure if there has been any change except for the only one I know off the top of my head. Now, if you guys have an example, please tell me. But the only person I can think of off the top of my head that has been has either stepped down, been replaced, or been fired was Jen Psaki, who ended up going to MSNBC to be a host, right? The press secretary, which, while a prestigious position and an important position, not really a decision maker, right? Not really a decision maker. Everybody else has been in their position as far as I'm aware. And what has that accomplished? Literally, some of the most expansive and needed legislation, the most consequential pieces of legislation of my lifetime, outside of like going to war with Iraq. It's crazy. An infrastructure bill that every single president in my lifetime, I'm almost 30 years old. I am 28 years old, turning 29 this year. Every single president has said that we have crumbling infrastructure and we need to fix it. But nobody has been able to pass anything but tiny little, patchwork bills to fix this or that, while the overall infrastructure of the United States crumbles. The Inflation Reduction Act, which did reduce inflation, we are not seeing record inflation anymore. We reduced our inflation faster than any other nation of comparable size or, well, there's not many that have a comparable size, but, comparable economies to ours. We were the fastest to reduce the inflation that came out of COVID, that came out of all the spending that COVID necessitated, that came from all of the supply chain issues that came out of COVID. There's just so much of consequence that Biden has been able to get through, and historically divided Congress and historically divided Senate through bipartisan means, through negotiation with the other side, listening to them, taking what they want into consideration, and then implementing it into law and getting it passed by both sides of the aisle. No other president in my lifetime has been able to do that. Even Obama, who I really respect and really like, despite there being a lot of criticisms of him, Obama wasn't able to negotiate with the Republicans. But Joe Biden was. He had more connections with the Senate and in the House. With his 40 or 50 years of public service, where he was able to go to them individually and say, hey, this is what needs to get done. What can we do to get it done? And then it got done. Even on the border, they did that. Ironically, the only reason that failed is because of this.
We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
The only reason that bill failed was because Trump wanted the border as a campaign issue. It had the most concessions the Democrats will ever give to the Republicans. A once in a generation deal for the Republicans. And they are letting it just whiz by because Trump wants to win the presidential election on the issue of immigration. He doesn't want to win the election and then do more good for America. He wants America to stay bad. He wants there to be more fucked up shit happening until the election so that he can point at Biden and say it was his fault. That's the fucking choice we have. We have two people with mental degeneration, but one is able to get shit done and work with the other side and make massive concessions to the other side. And then we have this pink blob sipping Diet Coke and giving himself dementia, telling people to kick the can down the road so that he can get elected. There is a choice, but there really is only one choice to be made. It's voting for Biden. I mean, the Republicans have a fucking chance with Nikki Haley. If Trump gets, thrown in jail with the Georgia case, right? They have a chance with Nikki Haley, right? Which is one, small reason, granted, that she's staying in the race to show that she has the gumption, to show, that she has issues that she wants, all that stuff. But with Trump, it is about Trump. It is not about America. It is not about our place in the world. It is not about our economy. It is about him. I don't generally think federal infrastructure spending matters, since the money that gets allocated goes to state governments and doesn't necessarily have any effect. I don't know what world you're living in. Federal infrastructure spending is insanely important to the states. That is why we have a 21-year-old drinking age, because the federal government said if you don't change what your state law is, right? If you have it at 18, you can do that. There's nothing constitutionally wrong with that. But if you do that, we're not going to give you federal infrastructure money. Same thing with smoking. Same thing with seatbelt laws, I think. It goes towards building up all of the state highways and towards the interstate highways that the states help maintain. Which are, hey, I don't know if this is news to you or not, but newsflash, the interstate system that the federal government did back in the fucking 50s is one of the most consequential things to ever happen to the United States in terms of our economy. Now, then you said, how about funding Border Patrol? That was one major part of the bill, giving them like millions and millions of dollars to both increase the pay for Border Patrol agents and to hire a ton of new ones. Reinstating Remain in Mexico, which I do think was part of the bill, and deporting most illegal arrivals, which is in effect what the bill does, because it reduces the amount of time for an asylum seeker to have their case run through the courts, reduced from like, average of like 8 to 10 years to a maximum set time limit of 6 months. So yes, in effect, what you're saying, all three of those things would be part of that bill. Yes, you know how to have a federal state magically engineer the best society ever, and anyone who disagrees with you can fuck off. I don't understand what that one's about. But at the end of the day, there is no choice. Really. There's only one person that is actually like capable of doing the job, and we've seen him doing the job for the past 4 years. That's Joe Biden. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube or follow me on Kick. And, we have the memberships on YouTube. We have the subscriptions on Kick. If you guys want to, throw a couple of bucks my way, there are some nice little treats for you. Different emotes and different AI things that the editor can do for you. All right. I'm really bad at promoing. I love you guys very much.